to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session. Because I've had a massive U-turn on this fight. Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. And when I watched the press conference yesterday, I just started thinking to myself, Jake Paul looked, I didn't say petrified, but he didn't look particularly comfortable. And I just feel like if Tommy Fury is aggressive in this fight from the first bell, there is absolutely no way he can't win this fight. And he's an outsider, isn't he? With the bookies. So, and I think Jake's really improved. And I'm not, because before I was like, God, then neither of them are great, but I just think Jake Paul wins. But I've just been thinking about it, and I think when you analyse it sensibly, like Tommy Fury, fairly limited as a professional fighter, but he's been doing it most of his life, can punch, knows how to punch correctly. If he's aggressive, if he puts it on Jake Paul, if he backs him up, doesn't go 2 rounds. And Jake Paul against Carl Froch is, Carl Froch is like been retired for 8 years. Still a horrific mismatch. But you'll see on Sunday. Listen, if Jake Paul beats Tommy Fury, you certainly don't have to give him credit of becoming a world contender, but you have to give him credit for sure. And I do give him credit already. But I just think if Tommy Fury, who has been boxing for, how old is he, Tommy Fury? 24, 25? Yeah. For 10, 12 years? Amateur fights, pro fights, spars. If he can't beat Jake Paul, then honestly, it is genuinely embarrassing for him. If he's aggressive, if he goes on the front foot from the first bell, if he sticks it on him, the fight don't go 2 rounds. But I'm going to watch.
Fly out there, get yourself involved, mate.
I was thinking about it. It's mad. I'm surprised you're not there.
No, the boys are there. Apparently Ronaldo's going to be in attendance as well.
I think so. It's an 8-round fight that's getting a lot of, and I don't mind it as a fight. It's not YouTube boxing in my opinion, but it's an 8-rounder headline and a pay-per-view card. But look at the platforms that both guys have got. So good luck to them.
Have you seen the belt on offer?
Yeah,
it's a pretty belt.
Very pretty belt.
Yeah. Sunday night, live on obviously BT Sport box office. This fight, everyone's going to tune in. If you're not in Saudi, everyone's going to tune in. There is a lot of intrigue around this fight with Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. The last time I spoke to you, you were kind of swaying towards Jake Paul on this. You had a little banter with Tyson Fury. What's your thoughts as the fight week now has started?
Yeah, fight week has started, but really truly, I want Tommy Fury to win it. Do it for the Brits. Do you understand? He has to play out the bag. It'll be amazing for him and his family. And then that's it, Jake Paul has got that no fear factor in his eyes. He wants to eat this man alive. Tommy Fury has to be in a dogfight. But if Tommy I haven't seen them since like a couple of weeks ago, so I can only tell you when I see them. But right now I'm just going through what I think in my head. So when I saw Jake Paul, he looks strong. He looks like he's out for it. I haven't seen Tommy. I only saw Tommy a picture of him in the holiday in a hotel. Sorry. So we'll see. It's gonna be delicious. But listen, whatever is good, people always say there's something bad. Good luck to Jake Paul. Rana is going in MMA. He's a guy who believes he can do everything, bro. And when you're at a young age, bro, you can do anything to be on. It's like when for a perfect example, when you're 7, 8, 9, 10, you can jump off the building and land, and you be like, fine, you can do it again a couple of times. But when you're in your 25s and your 30s, you get up on top of the building, you're like, nah, I don't think I can do that. The pain, you already think about the pain already in your mind. But when you're that young, as these guys are, you can do anything you want, bro. And Like, listen, he's not doing anything bad. He's not robbing anybody. He's not stabbing anybody. He's not doing anything bad. He is just entertainment. And then this most kids should understand, like, you know what? Just try and find something which you don't harm somebody for, and you just enjoy it. And so far, let people talk. Those people are talking rubbish about him. They can't do it. That's why.
What do you think about Jake Paul in the last 2 days actively calling out Carl Froch?
There's nothing wrong with that. Carl Froch is go in there and get his ass beaten up and then get your check, bro. Carl, hey, mate, it will be Carl Froch, you know.
What?
It will be Carl Froch.
Carl Froch?
Yeah. The Cobra. He will take the venom out of the Cobra and then pump him out. It will be Carl Froch.
Obviously, Carl Froch was on the fight week in Nottingham, and obviously a lot of questions were kind of being fired to Carl. Carl's made some comments. Jake Paul's, I think I've seen 2 tweets from Jake Paul.
I'm willing to bet 200 grand that Carl Froch will get his ass dealt with.
So if anyone's out there that wants to take this bet with you, but you're being 100% serious, you think that...
I am being 100% serious. Carl Froch will get his ass dealt with.
Okay, I'm not gonna...
It's mad how many people are involved in boxing now that think they can put these fights together, these exhibition fights. So just for clarity, I won't be boxing professionally at any time soon in a proper boxing match because these exhibitions and these YouTubers aren't real boxing matches. They're entertainment. Let's just get that straight. And I'm including Jake Paul and whoever else, whichever. I mean, he's like the main YouTuber at the minute. He's fighting Tommy Fury. But he's not a pro. He's an entertainer. And he's good at it. And he knows how to make money doing it. It's a fair play to him. I've got nothing against him at all. Just don't call yourself a professional fighter because you're not. You know what I mean? You're just a performing clown, as they say.
So I'm going to just play a little bit of devil's advocate with this one. If you got offered, I'm going to chuck a figure in there, £30 million to fight Jake Paul in whatever capacity, would you do that?
Mate, I'd fight Mike Tyson in his prime for 30 million because he just... You duck a couple of shots and then your leg would go and then that'd be it, be game over. Of course I would. I mean, it wouldn't take that much to fight Jake Paul. It wouldn't take 30 million. If a fight with Jake Paul like genuinely transpired and somehow he thought to himself, yeah, I'll take FROCH on, which he never ever would because it'd be ridiculous. I might be 45 years old, but any retired professional world champion that keeps himself in good shape would have no problem at all just absolutely playing with Jake Paul. It'd be like a mismatch. I don't even think you'd probably have to train a little bit for it just to get the lungs and the heart filled up with a bit of air and get yourself so you can do you've got to at least be able to do 2 minutes of one round, haven't you? You ain't got to worry about doing 2 or 3 rounds, but you do need to be able to throw at least 10 punches. So I'll get myself in the 10 punch state and then, yeah, I'd take the fight. But it ain't going to happen.
Have you got any interest in Jake Paul and Tommy Fury?
Of course, I mean, my lads think Jake Paul's like some kind of great thing, but when I've come across him, he showed respect and he was a fair lad, and I like Tommy Fury. He's a good-looking kid, and he's got some physique on him, so I just think good luck to both of them. They're making a few quid, and I just hope it happens, because it would be such...
Next week!
I know, but if he's not turning up to presses with a week to go, I don't know what's going on, but... And I only know he's not turned up because Del Boy told me, so... I don't know what's going on, but listen, I wish them both luck. I hope they make a right few quid, and good luck to both of them.
Tommy knocks out 90% of the people that he spars with, or drops them at least. So he's a very hard puncher, and Jake Paul will find that out tomorrow.
Is there any doubt in your mind that Tommy Fury does it?
I've got 100 racks on it for an inside the distance stoppage. So if he loses, I'll lose 100 bags as well. So I've got 3-1.
I think it was 2 days ago that we saw a video that Jake Paul put out kind of disrespecting Molly May and Bambi. Do you believe that he's gone too far? Do you think that's personal?
I think this is boxing, and it's one of the only things where you basically bring anything you want in to annoy the opponent. So if that's what gets under Tommy's skin or whoever's skin, then you got to use what you got to use to get in the person's mind or give you the edge on victory, basically.
Was Tommy fazed by that?
I wasn't here when that happened, so I haven't heard anything about it in camps. First time I've heard about it. Obviously, I'm not on social media anymore since October last year, so I don't see anything. But yeah, Tommy's on good form. I was in the gym last night, and he was looking unbelievable, very sharp and fit and ready. I'm looking forward to an explosive knockout.
I've got to ask you, what do you make of this beef between Carl Froch and Jake Paul? It's kind of come out of nowhere.
What do I make of it? It won't be relevant after tomorrow night because Tommy will knock him out and then that's it then, isn't it? But you know, if he didn't fight Tommy and he was able to keep his undefeated record, and it would be a good fight for him and Carl Froch, wouldn't it? Not that Carl Froch would be a good fight because, or it'd be an even match, just because it'd be good for Carl to make a right few million quid. And it'd be good for Jake Paul to do a big stadium in England or something, so, yeah.
Derek Chisora said that he's going to bet 200k that Jake Paul would do Carl Froch. Do you think that's a loss of money for Derek?
I'm not sure about all this 200k's and whatever else for Derek Chisora betting on him against Froch and stuff, but I think that one man's a boxing legend and one man's like a personality sensation. So you couldn't compare Carl Froch to Jake Paul. Carl Froch, even at 45, would knock him out in 2 rounds. In my opinion.
Johnny? I'm going to watch it. I actually think Jake Paul's not a bad little fighter. I actually think he's not a bad novice. He's just that a novice. I'd been flipping and flopping. I thought, I'm not going to do the same mistake again and did what I did with Eubank and Smith. I'm going to stick to common sense. Common sense tells me Tommy Fury should do the job. But if he doesn't, then that blows his world right up. You know, if he doesn't do the job, because he's supposed to be one that's got more boxing depth in his blood, in his family, in his lifestyle. So for Jake to beat him, I think Jake's done an amazing job in regards to promoting himself and getting people to flip and flop and think Jake Paul's going to beat him. He's done an amazing job with that. But in reality, Thomas should deal with it.
We've seen, obviously, Jake Paul fight retired MMA fighters. What has he seen in Tommy to call out a boxer?
Well, realistically, so that's what I'm saying. He's probably looked at Tommy and thought, you've got a bit of a name, you've got a bit of a reputation, so maybe people will take me a little more serious when I'm fighting somebody that's a bit more live. I saw recently he was giving Carl Froch a bit of abuse, and Carl phoned me up and said, have you seen this shit this man's saying? And I just said, yo, Jake, you want to leave that alone, because don't take Carl for a fool. My man's too vain to not train, you know. So if he's going to get in there with Carl, think it's a pushover. He thinks it's an Anderson Silva over the top. He's got it wrong. He don't want to play with that. He don't want to play with that fire.
What happens if Tommy loses? What happens to Tommy himself if he loses?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Tommy, his credibility as a fighter is either gone, or you've got to respect Jake Paul. You know, I'm not saying Tommy Fury is an absolute world beater who is bam, bam, bam. What I'm saying is, you know, he should be able to deal with Jake Paul. He's a live opponent. He's got boxing in his blood. He's got the Fury name. He should deal with him. But if he doesn't, his world blows up.
And obviously these Carl Froch and Jake Paul back and forth tweets, and Carl made a video and said, look, deal with Tommy, and then maybe we'll see.
I think Jake Paul knows to stay in his lane. I think, and he's done the job. He's got him talking about him, which goes on to the fight this weekend. He's got the job done. I think in reality, whoever's advising him, regardless of the weight, they'll say, you don't want none of that. You know, you don't want none of that. Because Carl is not very good at playing tiddlywinks. He wants smash, bang, wallop. That's Carl. So there'll be no tipping and tapping on all pals. Like, his ego won't let that happen.
He's going to be unconscious on the canvas.
Okay. Jake, I will have to ask, a lot of the noise has been around Carl Froch. He said that if he lands a right hand on you, your head will go into fucking orbit. Response to him?
I think it's funny. I think it's a good shit talk. Maybe he could work for SpaceX if his punch is that strong. He should just start punching rockets into orbit. But no, I like it. I like the banter. I think he's a funny guy, but he just seems a little bit desperate for a payday.
Could it actually happen with Carl?
I want him to fight Anderson Silva first to prove that he's still got it. I don't think he can get through Anderson, but if he could do that, then I'll fight him for sure.
You seen for yourself. You seen fear in the man's eyes. You know, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say. He looked awful at the weigh-in. You know, this is my show. You know, he's talked an awful lot over the past 2.5 years, and tomorrow night he's got to back it up. But no way is he doing that. He's going to sleep early.
Why did you push him?
Just so he can see this is my show. He's not getting away from me. If he got pushed, and that was it. It's me.
What did you make of that, Derek? Just come in.
It's exactly what I wanted. You know, a bit of shoving, pushing, exactly what we wanted, and I'm happy for him.
Do you think Tommy's going to pull it off?
Mate, Tommy has to. He has to. Also, might block him, but he's going to anyway. You know, he has to. That's it.
Easy work. Easy work.
Easy work.
Tommy, what did you see in Jake's eyes?
I seen fear in Jake's eyes. You know, I looked him dead in the eyes. I told him what was going to happen, and what did he have to say? Nothing. Tried touching my chest. You know, I don't know what he's on. I'm not here to play games or touch his body parts. I'm here to knock him out, and that's what's going to happen tomorrow night.
Do you think the realisation is dawning upon him now?
Yeah, I do. I really do. You know, it's just over 24 hours to go till fight night, and that's it.
We're getting back shortly, Tom.
Yeah. It's just over 24 hours to go to fight night, and he's got nothing to do about it. You know, he can't weasel his way out of this one. The last 2 fights didn't happen for genuine reasons. He has no way out of this fight.
Last one. What was the situation with the bet? What's happening with that? And was there anything spoken about the bet during the weigh-in?
There's nothing spoken about the weigh-in during the bet. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll leave that to my team. My job is to fight.
Final prediction?
Knockout.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something. Completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.